Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Today's video we're going to go over another very strong Hydra champion that might not get the spotlight that she deserves. Personally, I've used her for a really long time. Again, she's a really good answer to the Head of Decay, who is doing all the cleansing, the debuff cleansing. So she's really good at provoking. And she actually is actually pretty good at even doing full auto teams. She just needs to be in the right team, and it's Kantra, the Cyclone. So she was a very old fusion. You might have her somewhere in the vault. But let's see what she does. So her A1, she has a 50% chance on both hits to steal a random buff. We know how useful that can be. Sometimes you can steal the attack up buff from the Head of Wrath, or you can steal maybe the reflect damage buff from the Head of Suffering, or ally protection buffs. It's just a really good A1, and yeah, it's just really good. It can really help you in some spots, so especially against Hydra. But her big move is her A2 Chaos Tempest. It's on a 3-turn cooldown after books. 75% chance to place up to 3 of these debuffs on one cast. So all these debuffs are like pretty good for Hydra. I mean, block buffs is obviously like top tier, necessary for Hydra. Decreased attack is very good for Head of Wrath. Decreased speed, obviously top tier for Hydra as well. Weaken, decreased accuracy can be very good. It's just not a debuff you see very often. And then heal reduction, which is kind of like a nothing debuff most of the time. But decreased accuracy, decreased speed, decreased attack, decreased block buffs are actually all excellent for Hydra. So this move is actually, I don't know, personally I think it's really fun to like watch. It's a triple hit, so it's kind of good if the Head of Wrath is on the board. So you triple hit the Head of Wrath, and let's say you have a Geomancer, so you want the Head of Wrath to AoE your team as much as possible so that you can do more damage back from a Geomancer's reflex. So that's one way to use it. The other thing is like maybe if you want to triple hit the Head of Wrath because you're set up for his big slam, so you get your shields up, defense up, strengthen, all that stuff, and then you can set up the Head of Wrath slam that way. The other thing is it's a triple hit against the Head of Torment. So if you triple hit the Head of Torment, you're going to get 3 Shamail procs. You're going to get more Termir boost on your leader. So there's like a couple different ways to do this. The other thing with this move that's really good is that it bypasses the poison cloud. It bypasses the poison cloud, so it will place the debuffs even with the poison cloud active, which is pretty nice, especially when you can put block buffs on them after the poison cloud is on them. So yeah, and her passive is actually really is pretty dense. There's a lot of stuff here, but it makes her actually really strong. So let's go over it. Decrease each enemy's accuracy by 10 for each debuff they are under. So you could potentially have 10 debuffs on the Hydra head, so that's minus 100 accuracy. Like that basically just makes them, that could make them totally useless. So that's really good, and it's actually pretty easy to get 5 to 10 debuffs on a head, especially with Kantra. This champion will receive 4% less damage for each debuff on the attacker. So again, up to 40% damage reduction. Again, very huge. Heals this champion by 1250 HP each time a debuff expires on an enemy. Can heal for up to 12,500 HP, which is quite a good heal. Obviously that won't happen very often, but it's a pretty good heal. But she's gonna get continuous healing from the Hydras. Has a 75% chance of placing provoke, and this is the big one that you need against the Head of Decay. 75% chance to place provoke on one turn for enemies up to 5 or more debuffs at the start of this champion's turn. So the trick is to get the debuffs on the Head of Decay to have this percentage chance of landing this move. This move can also bypass the poison cloud as well, and all these and the last part of her passive is this champion can place debuffs on weak hits. That's why this champion Kantra can put all her debuffs on through the poison cloud. So it's actually a really cool passive. It makes her very effective. Again, very effective for full auto teams, just because her provoke is not targeted. It's kind of like just, you know, area of effect. It can bypass poison cloud and all that good stuff. Ally accuracy in all battles plus 60, like very good, especially if you're a bit low on stats. So very good aura as well. Base stats, very, very tanky. Look at this 1542 base defense. Very, very tanky champion. Pair that with her passive that keeps her alive, lets her receive less damage. She's actually quite hard to kill, so I wouldn't focus too much on building her super tanky, because she just has built-in survivability. Anyways, I'll go over my Kantra that I'm going to use, and I'll showcase a quick run that I have her in for Hydra. So my Kantra is here. I have her built out in Relentless. It's not necessary to have her in Relentless. Obviously, getting extra turns means she can cycle back to her passive provoke ability faster, so that's always a nice thing. I think you want her fast always. I have her pretty fast in Relentless. You want her fast always. Obviously, enough accuracy for the content that you're doing. Recommend at least 330 for Nightmare, and then scaling down from there for Brutal, hard, and easy. 275, she's really fast. She'll get back to her skills very quickly. These are pretty good defensive stats as well. She never dies in this setup. I put her with War Master just so she gets a little bit extra damage. Hexer and Sniper, so she gets more chances to land her debuffs and more potential to keep the debuffs on longer. So yeah, that's my Kantra. I have her in one refresh, not necessary, but obviously to get back to the Chaos Tempest move more often is very nice. She could probably work pretty well in any set. Maybe Guardian set would also work because of her built-in tankiness. She can also help by absorbing damage from your teammates. Yeah, she's just generally pretty easy to build. She requires accuracy, of course, but she pretty easy to build generally. You can just build her fast with accuracy in any set. Reflex also works. She only has one default skill, one active skill. So if she gets the reflex proc, she will always get that skill back, which is really good. Okay, so I think we'll just jump into the video. I got the video showcase, so I'll be right back. All right, here it is. I got this team here. This is a brutal team. It's pretty much like a 90% full auto team. I did some head targeting. But yeah, so we got Uko here for block buffs, AoE attack down. So similar to Kantra, I was trying to look for a replacement for Uko, but just because they have some overlap on their debuffs. But I was looking for kind of like a reviver slash AoE decreased speed. I was like, I have a Cybele, but she wasn't built, so I wasn't ready to use her yet. But I think Cybele is actually a very good option as well. She's actually a very good Hydra champion. But anyways, I got Kantra here with Husk. Husk is the backup provoke, and then we got Mithrala for some survivability, Shamaeo for the torment coverage and the defense down and weaken. She also brings strengthen and speed up for a little bit of survivability. So after this run, I actually just realized that I didn't have any way to heal outside of Life Drinker. I didn't have Leech. So I noticed that my champions were basically teetering on 50% HP most of the time and basically just surviving off Mithrala's shield. Sometimes it works. Like I've done lots of teams like that before where I'm like, I just didn't have Leech and then Mithrala's shield just carries. So you guys will see how this goes. So I'm going to start it here. We'll go through a little bit and then we'll watch the rest of the run here. So you see her Tempest Storm moves, pretty cool. I love the animation, and then I love the debuffs popping up. You see the triple hit on the Torment head, just add more damage, more TM boost on the leader. Very easy to get the full 5 5 debuff stacks going on the head of decay. I noticed with my setup here where Kantra's 275 speed with the speed up, she gets 2 turns before the head of decay gets a turn, so she will cycle back and she will have a chance to provoke it. I do have backup provoke. The backup provoke actually hit here, so we're all good. Don't have to rely on Kantra getting her second turn. Like I said, it's always good to have 3. Like personally, I think 3 sources of provoke is probably the sweet spot, where you have 1 primary provoker and then 2 backups. So in this case, Husk is the backup and Uko has a provoke set on, so can also back up. The provoke set's obviously a much lower percentage than Uko or the Kantra passive. Yeah, so we're just gonna wreak havoc on this Hydra team here. So far looking pretty good. Full coverage on the head of decay. Lots of debuffs out. Lots of damage happening. Obviously, our damage per turn will be much higher with the head of torment out. And yeah, I think we start focusing down this head of decay here. Relentless proc. Another issue might be that you might run into situations where you have too many debuffs. So that would be a little bit of a sad face there if you have too many debuffs. And then you aren't able to place your provoke debuff. That would be kind of sad. But of course that happens. All right, let's let this run and see you guys at the end, and we'll do a team breakdown. All right, that's the end of it. So as you guys can see, like my champions are a little bit maybe overbuilt for brutal. Kantra, Mithrala, Lydia basically could not die to the damage from the Hydras. They had to be eaten. And yeah, like it just kind of shows like Kantra's like just super tanky as well. She has no problem staying alive against brutal Hydras. So 5 million from Uko. Most of it is from TM boosting, AoE damage, and then obviously War Master with the Brimstones. Kantra without Brimstone dealt 4 million damage, which is actually not bad, right? Like she's not a damage dealer, but she can deal a little bit of damage, a little bit of help. If you put Brimstone on her, if she's your Brimstone champ, she's gonna deal a lot more damage. Huss doing most of the damage here. Mithrala's got Brimstone, Poisons, Hex helping her out. Lydia's also got Brimstone helping her out. And Shamail's definitely, with 9 million, was benefiting from the Torment spawns. So this run, as you can clearly see, it was mostly auto. It was about 90% auto. I think it only worked because the starting lineup doesn't have any high damage heads. But we didn't run it with any leech or any kind of healing from anyone in our team. So it was definitely a bit risky. I wouldn't recommend running this team. I think it needs some adjustments. Mithrala could be your flex, could be some other champion that provides Hex. I was thinking maybe somebody like Tila, but I didn't have Tila available for this run. So Tila would probably be not too bad in this spot. So yeah, so this is a team. Yeah. Just to show that Kantra is very, very, very strong, applying constant cleansing and constant debuffs to the head of cleansing, head of decay. So I'll show you guys the team real quick, just some stats. So Uko's in the provoke set. He's decently fast, pretty high HP, good accuracy. That's about it. He's in War Master. This is my Husk in Relentless. Most of my max HP damage dealers are in Relentless, has enough accuracy to land provokes. And this is my Shamail in Relentless. Yeah, nothing too special, just enough HP to survive. In terms of blessing, I have cruelty on Husk. You can use the other one, which is the you can use this one, Phantom Touch as well. That's a pretty good one. Shamail would use Phantom Touch here as well. Uko, I got Brimstone Blessing. You could definitely use and for Kantra you can definitely use Brimstone as well, or you can use Phantom Touch as well. Works pretty good. Mithrala was in Brimstone, and here's my Mithrala stats. She's in bolster gear. She's mostly for some dungeon comps. She's pretty decently built, has a lot of survivability. And yeah, no War Master. So yeah, hopefully that was a good showcase for Kantra. I just wanted to show that she's very, very good for Hydra. Definitely don't sleep on her if you guys are lacking provoke champions. She also brings other debuffs as well, like speed down is also very important, as well as block buffs. So you guys don't have a consistent block buff, she can like kind of fill in as a backup block buffs. And obviously speed down is obviously very good, but it's not as common as you would think. So definitely give her a look, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.